What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, Dr. Killjoy, coming back at you again, and it is that time once again. Absolutely great time to be a Call of Duty fan. We have Call of Duty Major Tournament number 2 coming up this weekend, starting tomorrow. I say weekend. This thing's a 5-day event. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And yeah, it's nice. Quick rant here to start. My bad. Yeah, it's nice to have Call of Duty for 5 days in a row. You're not going to catch me complaining. Except you are. If we throw it back to the old tournament schedule, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, how it's meant to be, how we've known to grow and love it, then you have such longer days of COD, which I understand might not work for some people, but that's just, I don't know. Let me know your guys' opinion down below. You like the 5-day tournament schedule or the 3-day tournament schedule? That had so many more matches too. We don't even have that many matches anymore because it's down to the 12-team league. Anyways, hopping on into our predictions for Major number 2. Now, we have a very competitive league right now. Look at Group B. Group B, you had 3 teams finish 3-2 in a tie, and you had 3 teams finish 2-3 in a tie. Any of those teams could have been where Rocker is right now if they would have won one more series or won certain head-to-head tiebreakers. It was a very competitive side of the group in the league. I don't know how to phrase it. Anyways, I'm excited. Let's get into the predictions. We're going to start off with a winner's bracket. So kicking it off, you got Optic Chicago versus Toronto Ultra. I got my notes here. I already have the predictions down here. We'll get to those though. So, Optic, they're going to come out strong. They're going to hit Ultra with a 3-0. I'm not confident in the Ultra squad. Congrats to them for making the winner's bracket. That's about as far as they're going to make it here. Next up, you have the New York Subliners and the Dallas Empire. This series is a banger. This one could go either way. I won't lie to you, it could. But I'm going to go ahead and take the Dallas Empire in a 3-1 fashion in this one. I think they're going to come out swinging. Very competitive series against Optic to end the league on this last Sunday. Go check that series out if you haven't. That one was a banger. So, moving on to winners round 2. We'll get down to the losers in just a moment. You got FAZE and Optic. This series is the toughest series I've ever predicted. Because if you look back at their only matchup of the year, it was 3-2. And FAZE smoked them on the S&Ds. It was like a 12-1 round count overall or something like that. But Optic's gotten better at S&D. And when FAZE lost, they lost both of their S&Ds to the LA Guerrillas. So maybe it's a turn of the tides in the S&D. And for that reason and that reason only, I'm taking Optic in a 3-2 fashion. They're going to win both. No, I don't even know. I'm not going to say that. They're going to win Game 5 S&D. Past that, I have no predictions on that match for you. Not to spoil it, but whoever wins that match is probably the favorite to win the tournament for the rest of it. And I'm taking Optic 3-2. Next, you got the Rocker versus the Dallas Empire. And here's my issue. Empire has been slacking in S&D, which makes no sense if you look at their roster. That should be their best game mode. That is a very S&D talent-heavy roster. But Rocker has been very good at S&D and with Standy. They just completed a reverse sweep over Seattle. With all the momentum they have, I'm going to have them winning that 3-2. And it's going to be a clean 3-2, which doesn't really make sense. If it's 3-2, that's a competitive series, but it's going to be a clean 3-2. Setting up our winners final to be Optic and Rocker. We'll get back to that in a minute. We're going to go down to the losers for a little bit. So, start kicking it off in losers round 1, you got LA Guerrillas versus the Florida Mutineers. And while I want to say LA Guerrillas, I feel like the Florida Mutineers are going to come out with a little fire. They know it's tournament time. Caesar Skies Bueno. That's the man who I forgot during the power rankings. I'm still mad about it. We won't talk about it. If you watched the video, then you know. But I'm going to go ahead and take Florida in a 3-1 fashion. That one I could see going either way. Yeah, it could go either way, but I'm going to take Florida in this case. I think LAG is a good team. It's just they're either on or they're off, and I'm thinking they're going to be off this tournament. Nothing against them, though. They could win. Next up, you got Paris and LA Thieves. Not feeling confident in the Thieves right now. They've made way too many roster changes. Could this be the one that works out for them? Sure, but benching Slasher, bold decision. Paris can beat any team in the league. They're going to come out hot, get the 3-2 victory. They're going to clutch up when it matters most, moving them on to round 2. Top side of round 2, you got Seattle and Florida. I'm going to go ahead and take Seattle 3-1. In the first major predictions, if you watch that video, I had Seattle making a run. You might see that trend continue here. I'm taking Seattle in a 3-1 fashion. They have been looking better, though. They were looking better in the league. They weren't necessarily getting the wins that they needed to, but they've been looking better as time has gone on. On the bottom side, you got the London Royal Ravens versus Paris. Bit of vengeance for London right here. They're going to come out hot and get the 3-0 over the Paris Legion. Get them out of here. Moving on. Round 3. Pretty sure I have this set up right. It will be Ultra versus Seattle on the top side. Give me Seattle 3-1. I have no faith in the Ultra to do anything. They're going to win series, but I will never predict them to. I'm just not a fan of them, I suppose. They shouldn't have benched Methods. Insight has been playing very well. I'll say that. Insight has been playing very well. Methods wasn't the right decision to bench, though. That's my personal opinion, and I'm going to hold it against them until further notice. On the bottom, you got the New York Subliners versus the London Royal Ravens. Tough matchup for London here. I'm going to take New York in a 3-1 fashion. I think New York just has more firepower as a squad. I am a fan of London, but that's a tough matchup for them pretty early in the tournament, pretty early in the losers bracket. So New York 3-1 fashion. Moving on to round 4 losers bracket, you got Dallas Empire versus Seattle. And don't worry, I'm on the Seattle train, but I'm not that much on the Seattle train. Give me Empire 3-0 fashion, too. They're going to come in and they're going to smoke them. Close maps, but 3-0 fashion. So on paper, it won't look close. On the bottom side, you got FAZE and New York Subliners. That's a big... No matter how it ends up, we're going to get a lot of bangers this weekend. And I'm predicting for some of those, I'm going to go ahead and take FAZE in a 3-1 fashion over New York. I think they're just the better squad right now, and they're not going to slip up after falling down into the elimination bracket. And to conclude, we'll almost conclude our loser side. In round 5, you got Empire and FAZE. Dallas versus FAZE. Rematch of the grand finals of Major 1. I'm taking them in round 5 of the elimination bracket this time around. And I'm going to take the same winner. Give me FAZE 3-1 in that series. If it goes to a game 5, that would be a very interesting series to watch. That would be I don't know what to tell you on that one. Either team could win that. I'd probably take FAZE still, but... So, going back up to the top side of the bracket, let's finish off our winners final to see who's going to meet FAZE in the losers final. Going into the winners final, you got Optic and Minnesota. This time around, I'm going to go ahead and take Optic in a 3-1 fashion. They're going to get their vengeance on Rocker. They were playing sloppy that whole weekend. And they're going to want to get the vengeance, especially in winners final. They're going to know what opportunity they have in front of them. Rocker just not going to be able to quite keep up at this point. But you know what? You never know. Rocker could win that series for sure. Which brings us to our elimination final. See who's going to be Optic in the grand finals. You got Rocker and FAZE. Here's my thing about this series. Kind of how I feel about Rocker and Empire in round 2 winners. That kind of spoils the prediction. I'm gonna be taking Rocker 3-2 over FAZE. Giving FAZE their 3rd L. Including the Optic one in the winners final. If this does all come true, which it will. Because I can see the future. I'm going to take Rocker 3-2 over FAZE because Rocker is just better at S&Ds. So I think Rocker can win both of those S&Ds. And I think that they can steal a hardpoint or the control. I 100% can see that happening. So I think it's going to be 3-2. Fairly controlled. They're going to be close maps though. But it is going to be fairly controlled out of Rocker. Which gives us our grand finals of Major 2. Optic and Rocker. Rematch of the winners. Finals. This one's tough because I'm reaching for the sky here. I'm going to go ahead and take Optic over Rocker. They do start with a 1-0 advantage, which is the stupidest way to do the finals, but they're saying it's the easiest way to explain to viewers, which I just disagree with that whole concept completely. That's besides the point. I'm taking Optic over Rocker 5-4 Series of the Year candidate. It's going all the way down. I want to see it go down to the wire. I want that to be a... How many hours would that even be? It'd be like a 3-hour series, 3.5-hour series. That's what I want to see on Sunday. Let me know what you guys think of my predictions down below. Little bold, little realistic. We'll see what happens, though. Only time will tell. Kicking it off tomorrow. I believe you have LAG in Florida and Paris and LA Thieves playing tomorrow are the 2 matchups, I think. I don't know. I would have to check the schedule, but let me know what you guys think. If you agree, disagree, let me know. That's going to do it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.